Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith in the Black channel here at Ticker Talker, and it's a Monday. And so the importance of a Monday is that you'll hear me say, what's the next two? What will that create, negate, or do? So when you come in on a Monday, three of the four major time frames start over again. Your new month, or your new week, your new day, and your new 60. So what we know to be true so far this month, most things are taking out last month's highs. However, when you come in on a Monday, I want to know what's the next two. So if you take a look at the SPY here, you're going to see this upper left into the highs, exhaustion risk as we're going into the highs, right? That the buyers need to keep stepping up. Right now they are not doing that. We are a two up, two down day, right? To start off the week. That's something I'd want to know about. You're bright green on the month, but if the buyers don't step up, when you're red on your 60, let's go to 60. Got a new 60 starting here. When you're red on your 60 weekly and daily, I can't identify the monthly buyers, right? That's something I want to know about. And so that's why when we come into a Tuesday, and you've heard the term turnaround Tuesday, is do things continue on their way, which is to say here, this is a 2-2 reversal down, 2 up, 2 down. Does that continue tomorrow? As far as we know right now, we're at 2 down to start off the day and the week and the 60. So if we go to QQQ, into the highs, 2 down. That's a reversal right there. And so when you're trading this stuff, oftentimes on Mondays we pull back a little bit. But the thing is, if you're watching all of these on the daily basis, let me blow that up for you. You can get short as soon as you took out Friday's low. Here, boom, right there. That's a 2-2 reversal right here. And it negates what we know about the month. The month is exhaustion, which means going into the highs. Buyers got to step up. You stopped everybody out. The question is whether the buyers are going to step up. No. So the question also here with the QQQ, are we going to be weak enough to take out last week's lows? That's something I'd definitely want to know about, right? So right now you're a 2 up, 2 down. Because if we look at the Qs, also SMH we've known has been the laggard, right? And boom, that was a 2 down last week, and that's 2 down again, right? So if you look at the monthly, we were looking to see if it was going to be like the Qs and go 2 up, 2 down and go into the highs. That's not what's happening. Semiconductors weaker, right? Because we had the XLK do this. The hammer counter shooter into the highs, and now 2 up, 2 down, and that was being anchored by the big boys in the XLK, Microsoft, right? But now starting off a new week, boom, 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 and Apple. And Apple a little weaker, still 2 down by taking out the lows on the month, 2 up on the month. But to start off the day, you're going to see this here, the inside 60, and now dropping back in. Right, so a little weakness there. Watching these broader averages drop in. If you go to small cappers, we can expect reversals back and forth. Why? Because it's an inside month. It's doing nothing really. Right, still an inside week, but you can see this. The inside day, poke up a little bit, boom, that's Rev Strat day to the downside. 1, 2, 2. Taking this stuff out. Hopefully you can go down. You can see this lower low here. Get your broadening formation ready down into here. Come on, come to daddy. If we go to the diamonds, you're also going to see this. 2 up by taking out the previous daily high. 2 down by taking out the previous low. Still would be an inside week, right? Not the end of the world, but it's something we want to know about because the market is going to trade in the direction of the most 2s and failed 2s going 3. Right? What I mean by that is you can see this. Most things are starting off as a 2-day to the downside to start off the week. It's a question of whether they stay weak and go weaker to go to take out last week's lows. So you've heard me do this many times, and I'm going to do it again. We're going to bring up the scan, right? And so what I've got this set for is it says yesterday's, but these are weeklies. And we're going to start off with that. So I want to know, to start off the week, who is taking out last week's highs, right? Who's strong enough to do that? So I'm going to look in here. I'm going to see Pfizer. I'm going to see Harley. I'm going to see Coke. I'm going to see Oracle, Johnson & Johnson, Pepsi. So when I see the Coke and the Pepsi, that tells me I want to look at XLP, right? Abbott Labs, and Abbott Labs is in the weekend video, right? Not too much going on there though. So let's go back down VMW. So if I pull this back, and you're going to see things like Coke, which I believe has earnings this week, and taking out last week's highs, last month's highs, just kind of going up there. And that tells me XLP here. And XLP not doing much, but it took out last Friday's lows and came right back up, right? And that's telling me maybe look at Pepsi here, and Pepsi inside week, slight poke down Rev Strat week, and it already hit the magnitude by taking this stuff out, right? So it's not really, gangbusters. Or if you look at VMW, in VMW, you can see this monthly, taking out last month's highs, coming back through this range. Took out last week's highs. So this is something I would be looking at for the long side, right? Yeah. And now, if we go to the downside, I always want to look at the concentration. How many are there that are taking out the highs of the lows? So you can see there's a slight concentration. Oh, let's go Johnny John Bristol Myers real quick. Johnny John tells me Dow Jones XLV, right? Johnny John's still an inside month, but looking to see if taking out this week's highs, right? Slightly, not doing much, but that definitely gets my attention. Looking at that, see if we can take this monthly high out. And Bristol Myers slightly, and then pulls back. So nothing serious over here on the long side. If we go to Humana, and Humana is a good example of staying on things for a longer term. What I mean about that, like when you swing trade or whatever, you're going to see this. You're going to see this outside month, right? Took out both sides. Slightly took that, then went 3-2 right here. On the monthly basis, this is still good, right? Little choppy here. You had an outside week. But then here, 2 up, 2 down, hammer, boom. There's your swing right here. Right above 417.99, trading 440, and we're still looking to take this high out, 449.28, because we had a lot of those things over there do that before. UNH here poked down and then came all the way back. ANTM did it. Humana's just, here you go, pokes down, took that, and it's still going. And so Humana just taking a little bit longer to do that. If we go back to our scan, what is this market looking like? Last week's lows. Who's taking out last week's lows? Whoa. Palantir, Tesla's, AMD, Plug, Mara, Riot. So this is telling Mara, Riot, this is telling me that I don't even have to look at a chart. I'm going to tell you that Bitcoin has been trading lower because of that. That I know, right? Peloton, MU, Exxon, Space still puking. General Motors, AMAT, so Facebook, it tells me some tech, SQ, all this kind of stuff trading lower on a weekly basis. And you can see there's a much heavier concentration doing that. So if we go once again, go back to that SMH. Ow, ow. We've known this is weaker because it couldn't take out that high. And went 2 down last week. You see stuff like LRCX. That was a 2 down. Remember, we talked about this last week. The concentration of 2 downs on the SMHers, right? Last week. We already knew about that. Now it's continuing to start off the new week. MU. Outside week down. That's a 3-2 down. Right? Do we know about that? We did. And look at this. Inside day. Boom. Straight down. Potentially an outside month now. So these semis having some problems. You go to AVGO. Here. Once again, last week slightly took out the lows, now accelerating to the downside. Look at this. 2 days inside of this, and then boom, straight down. All right? So really important to be able to notice this stuff. You know, when people say, oh, it's coming into my support level, I'm like, you got a massive amount of 2s to the downside, and you think this market's going up, you're out of your mind. That would have to change, all right, which it is not so far. Roku, here, taking out last week's lows, right, which we can expect because it's still an inside month. Right? It's consolidating. We could expect back and forth. Does it mean Roku's going to get killed? Not necessarily, but it does mean You're a 2-2 reversal week down below 361.69. That's something I'd want to know about. If you go to NNOX, this is where people will stay on the gap list for a while. Be like, if something's still working, it's still working. As you can see, this is on the gap list back here. Gap up, and then the next day, boom, that's a 2 up because it took out this previous high. This is a 2-2 reversal here. Boom, 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 boom. Then you get the slight higher high. Maybe that stops you out. But when it goes here, 2 up, 2 down, you're back in. Why? Because we're looking for an outside month. Once we know this thing turns red and we know outside bars exist, we're looking to take out this low, which we got. Thanks for playing. Weekly, 2 up, boom, reversal here. Still good and puking. I just noticed space, still puking. I was on TrendSpider webinar last month talking about this, and they said, Rob, you got any monthly charts you could show us that would give us some longer term stuff? I'm like, yeah. Space below here, 2 up, 2 down, below 35. Where's it going, Rob? It's going to take this out here, 2288. Why? Because these three are going to become an outside bar of that unless I have a reversal against me, which I do not have on the monthly. Then inside day, continuation, 2, 1, 2. Add to it, right? So you always want to make sure that when you have a profitable position, you don't get out too early, first of all, and second of all, you press it, right? We want to press with their money, all right? If I'm already winning, one of the most sorry, pitiful things you're going to hear people say is, oh, I'm selling my last piece of my winner. Wait, what? I want to have as much as, I want to be as long as I've ever been when something's going up, not selling pieces out, right? Or I want to be as short as I've ever been today, space, right? I want to be like, oh, cool, it's going down again. I can take a little bit more off. Wrong answer. It's like the way you make money in this business is pressing your winners. All right, that's how you do this. All right, if we take a look at HAE on the gap list, ow, right, 2 up, 2 down, puking through all this kind of stuff a little fast. Let's see if we can get here. Inside 30, right here. This is an inside bar. Boom, down she goes. If we go to Can, having some more Bitcoin problems, are you? Yep, yes, yep. We knew about this last week when we did the inside week to the downside that then triggered the 2-2 reversal month. Is it still puking? It is, right? So you can see this here, an outside day on Friday. Maybe that stops you out. That's okay, because a 3 green, 2 down, that's something I'd want to know about right here. Slam it again, below 1210. Right? Because we still have this monthly reversal. That's in force. Now you got an inside 60. If we go to BLNK and Blinker, we knew about this. Thought you might have the 2-2 reversal month to the upside, but once this goes red, now we're looking for potential outside bar to the downside, especially after last week. Slight higher high. Boom. 2-2 reversal week. Still good and puking. So we'll keep an eye on that. If we go to UPST. UPST, still an inside month. Last week, took out the lows. Still taking out the lows. Having a rough morning here. Watching right now as the broader averages are going to the lows of the day. Once again, you're going to see this SMH. That's a problem right there. And you're going to see this. Inside 30 to the downside, right? And so just continually tracking the broader averages like we do will tell you exactly where you want to be. Right now, you got a higher concentration of 2s to the downside, right? And that's where your scans tell you what this market's doing. Got it? So we'll see if that all this stuff maintains coming into Tuesday. Right now, going towards the lows. That's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith Black Channel here at Ticker Talk with Strat Report.